Just how much difference is there between Ping's brand new ultra-low handicap blueprint irons and the Ping mid to high handicap G410 irons? Let's find out, and let's do it now. Hi everyone, James Robinson here. If you're new to the channel and this is your very first time watching my content, first of all, welcome to the channel, and second of all, please take a second to hit that subscribe button before you leave. On this channel, I bring you guys golf-related content every single day to help you raise your game, hopefully lower your handicap, and maybe just get you enjoying golf that loads bit more. In today's video, we are focusing on Ping irons, in particular, the Ping Blueprint Forged irons. I know, right? When it's right, it's so good. And the mid to high handicap equivalent, the G410 irons. How much difference is there? Well, that was a terrible golf swing. How much further do these go? How much more distance can you expect from the G410s? And just how different a golf club are these things? First of all, let's start off with a few similarities. I mean, not that there are many, but... What was that? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the first ever shank in a review. Let's hope it's the last. Well, you're always going to hit a pull after a shank, aren't you? Anyway, similarities between the Ping Blueprint irons and the Ping... that could have gone better. And the Ping G410 irons. Both clubs have the Hydro Pearl 2.0 finish, which looks amazing. It almost looks like a brushed satin, but it's also there to take away moisture from impact. When you're in that wet grass, you don't get the fly a lie. Both clubs have the lovely white line in the bottom groove to help you align the club face up and to help the fitting guys get the lie angles right. And believe it or not, both clubs actually have a weighting system in the toe, and in the G410 also the heel, to allow that tiny bit of forgiveness. Or in the G410's case, quite a lot of forgiveness. I've got to say, the Blueprint irons just look... Oh! If I didn't have this big horrible sty in my eye, I think they might even look even better today. Now, as you can imagine, the G410 iron has tons more technology packed into it over the Blueprint iron, including a much larger flexing zone, core eye technology, and even an elastomer badging in the back to dampen any vibrations. And although the G410 does look massive compared to the Blueprint, I mean, let's face it, most things look massive compared to the Blueprint, they actually look really sleek and stylish compared to its predecessor, the G400. You see, now that there is a prime example of a G410 player's shot. That shot came out of there. It felt like it came out the toe, it sounded like it came out the toe, and it's still gone over 170 yards, arrow straight like a button. Maybe I should get some weighting in my clubs. Technology in the Blueprint irons, not so much. You see, the Blueprint irons have been heavily designed for the better player, for the scratch player, for the low handicap, the ultra low handicap, even the Tour Pro. And I even know some Tour Pros who went and got these off the tour truck, took them on the range, hit a couple of shots with them, and were like, yeah, thanks but no thanks. You see, make no mistake, the Blueprint irons look truly gorgeous, stunning, sexy, amazing, wonderful, beautiful. But they do look very small. So much so that after a shank, you may have noticed I haven't got the 4-iron out yet. I'm gonna have to do, aren't I? You see, this thing is a work of art. This thing truly is super slim. But whenever I review these and whenever I compare these against something, the 4-iron, it almost feels a bit weird. It almost feels a bit naughty. It's like, I've hit 4 shots with it now. Do I need to hit any more? Or can I kind of cut my ties there and call it a day at that? I mean, just look at this thing down at the ball. But then I have got to say, when you put a good swing on this, the numbers, they're perfect. Now, I'm not going to put a bad swing on this on purpose because I wouldn't even know how to do that, but I would love to hit a bad one for you here and just see how much you lose. That was a little bit telly, but not terrible. There is definitely something to be said for irons like these raising your game, for getting you up for it, for just making you want to play better, maybe making you go and practice more. Does that make sense? So I'm going to do something a tiny bit different now, and I'm going to listen to you guys. Not that I don't listen to you guys often, but I'm going to hit the Ping G410 5-iron as opposed to the Blueprint 4-iron, because what a lot of people want to see is a comparison in lofts and not in just the club. Actually, both of these clubs are 23.5 degrees, and both of them are even the same length. We basically just have a different number stamped on the bottom. It absolutely amazes me how I can strike these irons so far out of the toe and still get a decent distance, still get a decent shot. But then with the Blueprint irons, I haven't really struck any out of the toe, so it's the bigger head making me a bit more lazy and making me worse at golf. There's one for you. Loads of room down here for the G410 head. Doesn't matter what swing you put on this, James, it's still gonna go. Oh yeah. Also guys, hit those comments below for me, smash that comment section below. What difference would you expect to see in the Ping G410 5-iron and the Ping Blueprint 4-iron? The size difference looking down at these golf clubs is ridiculous. So guys, that is loads of golf shots hit with the Ping G410 irons and the Ping Blueprint irons. Just before we go and take a look at the numbers, guys, just so you know, the loft difference on these two clubs, the 7-iron and the Blueprint is 34 degrees of loft, whereas the 7-iron on the G410 is merely 30 degrees of loft. However, with the pitching wedges, we do get back to a little bit more of a constant, 46 degrees of loft for the Blueprint and 44.5 degrees of loft for the G410s. And the G410s are also half an inch longer in shaft length than the Blueprint irons as well. Remember, the G410s are also available in power lofts. So guys, looking at dispersions to start with, I have swung it pretty well today, apart from that one, the unmentionable. We'll kind of not mention that again maybe. But generally, all nice high draws, a couple of leaks out to the left and right, but very, very happy. Happy with dispersions on all of those, really. Let's start with the Ping G410s. So the Ping G410 pitching wedge, a couple of real high numbers in there that obviously, yeah, we'll not talk about that one. But averaging 135, which is surprising because I thought that would be higher. Looking at some of the real high numbers, 145 in there, but the lowest being 123, which was, again, the unmentionable. The G410 pitching wedge spinning at 7.6 with a club speed of 86 and a ball speed of 104.7. Let's compare that straight away with the Blueprint pitching wedge. All around a nice number, nice and consistent, 130-ish. Average 129, so 6 yards shorter there than the G410, which is to be expected really. Club speed down at 85, ball speed 102. Spinning a nicer number of 8,000. Blueprint 7-iron. Blueprint 7-iron hopefully would all be around kind of 165, 170. Average 172, which is pretty good really, really happy with that. Club speed 91, ball speed 119, spinning at 6,000, which is a little bit on the low side today to be fair, but they were all very consistent for me there. Comparing that with the G410 7-iron, just massive numbers there. Huge numbers compared to the Blueprint iron. Average 181, so that's basically a club longer, isn't it? Although with that 4-degree loft difference, you would kind of expect that. Club head speed 91 and a ball speed of 122, spinning much less at 5387. Now the interesting bit, the 4-iron versus, well, realistically the 4-iron, but the 5-iron. Blueprint 4-iron, all around that 200 mark, couple of really good swings towards the end, and then average just over 200, 202. Club speed 93.5, ball speed 129, and a spin of 42, which is a beautiful number for that club. So guys, did you comment below? What do you think? What's the difference? Is this going to go further than the 4-iron? Is it going to be the same? Let's take a look. All similar around that 200 mark. I felt like I buttoned this more often than not. Average 198. So a couple of yards shorter than the 4-iron. Club speed 91, ball speed 127, and a spin, identical spin of 4.3. Remember, this is the 5-iron. In comparison, what do we think? What are the differences between Ping's ultra low handicap club and the mid to high handicap club? For me, there's a huge difference. There is a massive, massive, massive difference. And if you're looking for a set of irons, but you're not sure kind of which category you fall into, make sure you go and try a few categories. I almost get a little bit lazy with the G410s. I think I could definitely have produced better numbers with the G410s if I concentrated as much as I did with the Blueprint irons. But then if I didn't concentrate like I did with the Blueprint irons with the G410s, well, that's when you shank it or you miss it or you thin it. And that's generally what happened there. I think one of the huge factors that's bearing on this video is the other irons that Ping offer. Ping offer a huge range of very, very good irons. The i500, the i210, obviously the Blueprint, the G410, the G700 if you feel like you need extra forgiveness and extra distance over the G410. The reason I didn't do this video with the G700s is they're just very, 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 very big and powerful, aren't they? So I thought I'd stick with the G410s because most people can relate to that. So guys, make sure you do hit those comments below like I asked earlier. What would you use? Would you use the G410s? Would you dare use the Blueprint irons? Would you go split set? Would you go something in between the Blueprints and the G410s? Guys, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed that video. I really enjoy testing these golf clubs. Both fantastic clubs. I think Ping are having a fantastic year, but then I think most brands are having a fantastic year. Make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed that video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow.